Hi and welcome to the handover of the fantastic Lyseo 590. Vehicle under 6 metres. Have a quick walk around of the vehicle. We've got your exterior locker, which is there. Tall ski locker inside there. With your ladders for your drop down bed. Carpets. These shelves drop down by removing these tabs. And these will rest on each of those controls there. You've got a hanging space. Inside this is a second wardrobe. And in here we've got your external shower point, which plugs on the opposite side of the vehicle. This packet within here is so you can separate your pots and pans and plates. It's on Velcro and you can set those to whichever size you wish. That is your winder for your awning. The instructions on the awning are available on a separate video, which will be attached to this link. Outside we've got your external power point. This is for power coming out, not power coming in. Mains power point there, that's for if you sat underneath the awning, 12 volt there, and an aerial point on there. And then also here we've got a barbecue point. This is lockable with the same keys as the shower point, which are inside the cutlery drawer. Got your rear view camera, and then on this particular model we have a tow bar that's been factory fitted. Moving around to the near side of the vehicle, the passenger side. Got your cab area, your filling point for your fuel there with an AdBlue additive below. Details and instructions of the cab and the video again are available on a separate video, which will be attached to the link on here. So straight away we've got your Burstner service hatch, conveniently located with all of the items that are required all in one place. When you first get onto your campsite, you plug into mains, which plugs directly onto there. We've then got your water tank. You can remove this cap. This enables you to access the water tank to enable you to clean it if you need to. Directly above is your filling point for your water. You'd remove that like so. And then this device, which is here, you put on the end of there, and then that will prevent any water, if it overflows, from spilling into the inside of the vehicle. Before you set off, ensure that you've put that cap back on. This device is your drain down device. If you turn that part way, you'll feel a lug, and then water will start to drain, and water will drain down to 20 litres, which is indicated on here. If you turn it all of the way, don't turn it too far, but turn it all the way till it stops, and then basically that will then drain down to completely empty. Other than that, turn it all the way clockwise to tighten it. That then is your freshwater tank closed. It's advised that you drain down that for winter or when you're not using it, just for hygiene reasons. These valves here are your hot water boiler valves. In essence, basically 10 litres of this cold water goes into your hot water tank when you turn your pump on and you turn your taps on. This, if you open these up, will drain the water in your hot water tank, but only your hot water tank, so it'll only drain down 10 litres from that. This device is your frost protection valve. As you notice, as you pop that, and water drains from your boiler. To prevent that from doing so again, push and twist. 2 operations. So twist it and push from there. If you do that, then that basically you'll notice that blue cap has popped back in, and that has stopped the boiler from draining. This other valve in the vertical position is in the draining position, and that's draining everything that's gone past through the water system into the hot water pipes. In cold conditions, anything below sort of 6 degrees or below, that will automatically open. This valve, not that one, this valve will automatically open to try and protect the boiler. To prevent it from doing so, if you are using the vehicle in cold conditions, turn your blown air heating on for a few minutes. That'll gently warm this area through this pipe, and then that valve will then be able to be done. So you twist it and push it. 2 operations. This valve, this device which is on here, pop that off like so, and then directly on here you will see that lever. Twist that lever and that will drain water from your wastewater tank, and we'll leave that in the open position. And water will just continue to drain there, drive over a drain point, and that will drain from that point. This is your exhaust for your heater. You will find that when you're using it on gas, you will get some byproducts, so you will get some vapour and condensation which will form on there. Shower point is directly above your gas locker. And then we have your gas low filling point on this particular model. Your nozzle sits into there at any gas filling station. and you fill up from that point. It is open, you can open it and access to it if you require. And you've got your 2 gas oil bottles which are inside, and then your automatic valve which is at the top. So that's everything on the outside of the vehicle. We'll go inside and we'll show you the workings of the inside. So on this model we have fitted the 21-inch TV along with soundbar. When we first get into the vehicle, we have our Burstner control panel. You've got 2 on and off buttons, the rest are test buttons. So this first button on the left hand side is your on and off. You'll notice then when that's on, this light will light off. When it's off, that light will go off. We've got then test switches. This one, you push this and it'll indicate the level of your leisure battery. So that's currently showing full. Push that one, shows us the level of the leisure battery, of the vehicle battery, sorry. And that's showing a healthy battery. Currently there is a charge going into the leisure battery, so it's showing it's quite high. That is coming from the solar panel. When you're plugged into mains, this light here, which you can't really make out, but this will light up to show that you've got mains power coming in. If that doesn't light up, you've not got mains power coming in. Next buttons on the right hand side, we've got this, which shows the level of our freshwater tank. The bottom one, which shows the level of the wastewater tank. If there's nothing in either, then no lights will light up. And then finally, this button indicated the picture of a pump, a little tap. That basically is for our water. And with that turned on, then you'll be able to operate all of your taps. If that's not turned on, your taps won't operate. Next to this, we then have, let's turn these lights on. We then have your Truma control panel. To turn on, push the button in the middle. You'll then see that you've got various icons. Anything that's below the line is what you want to work. So you've got a little picture of a thermometer in a motorhome, picture of a thermometer in water, gas bottle and 2 lightning spikes, and a fan. Those are all the items that you want to operate. So what we do is basically we get in the van and we can then spin the wheel to select, once we've pressed this button in, to select what temperature we want the vehicle to heat to. To confirm it, we push to confirm. If you notice then, we've got a little picture of a flame that's appeared above, a picture of a gas bottle and a fan. That's indicating what we want it to work and what we want it to work from. Next, we can then turn our water on by spinning the wheel to the icon. It flashes, we push to confirm, and then we can choose Eco, Hot or Boost. Eco is 40 degrees roughly, Hot is 60 degrees roughly, and Boost is still 60 degrees, but it will do so at the detriment of the blown air heating. Next, we can then choose what fuel source we want to supply. So, for instance, at the moment, it's selecting gas. We can choose gas. We can choose Mix 1, which is mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric. Mix 2, which is gas and 2 kilowatt of electric. Electric 1, so that's just 1 kilowatt of electric only. And electric 2, which is 2 kilowatts of electric only. The reason you have 1 kilowatt choice is mainly to do with the campsite. If the campsite's got a poor campsite power supply, then in essence on that, then it's could trip the campsite out. So that's why you can go to 1. But bear in mind, the smaller that number, the least amount of power that you get and the cooler the vehicle is going to be. In winter conditions, you'll tend to find that you'll need to use a combination of both. Or just gas only. Gas will go up to 6 kilowatt, electric up to 2. Finally, we have your fan. And then your fan, you can choose Eco or High. And you'll notice then that those, you get more fins on that fan to indicate the speed of the fan. And that's for the blown air. Then below, we can set timers if we wish. So we can set a start time and an end time. And then we can select the actual time from there. And next, we've got a little picture of a spanner where we can go into the settings and we can change the brightness of the panel, the language of the panel. And we can do a complete reset if we want. So if the heater ever fails, you can press reset, PR set to confirm, and then it'll just take it back to its factory settings. Once you've set the temperature and you're using it, you don't need to necessarily go into that again. Once you've got the temperature, if you get up in the middle of the night and it's too hot, then literally you can just turn that temperature down just by selecting that, and it'll turn the temperature down and just work as a room thermostat at home. This device above is the temperature sensor. You've got your light switches, which are here, and those operate all of the lights independently. 2 of those switches are for your outside lights, your awning light, and your main strip light on your awning. Those are independent of that control panel, which is this panel. So if that control panel's off, you can still turn them on and off. They will only remain active for a certain amount of time, because what happens after several days of inactivity, the unit will go to sleep. It will stop powering up the step, stop powering up those awning lights, and stop also powering up your cab radio. Your cab radio is wired through your leisure battery, so you can have it on without having to have the ignition turned on and worrying about your vehicle battery flattening. So on that, basically what happens is after a few days of inactivity, you might want to turn that on, but to do that, you might have to just turn this unit up, on, very briefly, on and off, wakes the unit up, takes out of hibernation mode. Moving to the back, we've then got your fridge. Your fridge is 3-way to turn on. Press that button to select, and you can press, the easiest way is pressing A for automatic. If you select A for automatic, it will then automatically look for its power source. If we plug into mains now, it'll fire across automatically to mains. If we start the engine, it'll go to battery. Bear in mind that's coming from the vehicle battery. It only works through the vehicle ignition. It won't work from a battery whilst you're wild camping. If you want to override any of them, then you can just press that button, and whichever button you want. But like I say, A for automatic is the simplest one, and then you can just go from there. Next is the temperature thermostat. We can set what temperature we want. 3 or 4 is roughly about where you want it to be. Anything more than that, then you end up with frozen lettuce. And then next to it, just an indicator. If you ever get a gas fault, if it fails to light, press that to reset, and that will reset the system. Just so basically you're giving a manual override saying, yes, I've checked everything, the gas is all right, everything's safe, so try to reignite. Inside your fridge, you've got your light within there, which is on this sensor, which goes on off and on as the door closes. And then we've got your freezer compartment, which is removable if you so wish to make a bigger fridge, and instructions of which are on there. We then have your storage inside here, and then this is your aerial control, main on and off. On that switch there, you'll notice that an LED light goes on and off, and then you've got your gain. If you're in bad signal areas, you can turn them up or down from there on the aerial. There is an inbuilt inline fuse which is into there if that light stops working. Over the other side, we then have your 3-burner hob. To turn your hob on, turn to the large flame, keep held in for a few seconds, and then that'll light from there. Once it's lit, hold it in for a few more seconds, just releases the thermocouple, and then it'll knock off. And that's exactly the same principle for your oven and grill. When you're operating your grill, door open, this pulled out, and just prevents these from getting too hot and melting. Ensure that this area is cool before you put this glass back down. Your tap, this falls back and reveals your sink. Your tap is there. Basically you lift up to operate cold, move across to operate hot. When you're first priming the system, turn it all the way to hot, lift it up, it'll cough, it'll splutter, it'll gurgle. Basically once it starts to run clear, then you've got a full tank of water that's ready to be heated. The heater's called a combi heater. Isn't a combi heater that we're used to at home in respect of it being instant hot water. It's a combi in the fact that it heats the air and heats the hot water. It's using that combination is to which it's referring to. So what you want to do is lift that, cough it, it'll gurgle, it'll splutter. Once it runs clear, you know then you've got 10 litres of hot water inside that water tank ready to be heated. If it carries on doing that, you've left one of them drain valves open. So go back to that first of all. You've got your storage inside there with your gas stop taps. Your gas stop taps are isolation taps and are there purely for testing purposes for ourselves, and for if in the one event, if for instance you do get that a gas leak on one appliance but want to use the others, then you can isolate those from there, but really you want to leave those on and turn off at the gas bottles. Storage inside here, that useful bit of space, and then we've got your cutlery drawer in there where we've got your keys, which I mentioned earlier, your different valves for your gas low, and then your plugs, one for your sink and 2 for your shower area, and then you've got a fold down cupboard inside there. Moving backwards, we've got your toilet flush. Push that button to flush and it will flush from there. Once it gets full, that light will light up red. Lift this cap, you'll notice that there's a blade there. When you're using the toilet, pull that lever, push that lever, sorry, and then that opens that blade, opens and closes from there. And that reveals the contents of the tank, which is underneath. That needs to be emptied at an L-SAM point. We've got under here your light switches, and then a mains power socket. Then in here we have your shower. And then we've got hanging space, which is useful addition, which then is for any wet clothes and things. For travelling, ensure that the shower screen is locked back. Normal use, that would be open. You'll notice on the Burstner as well, there's 2 drains. That's if you're parked on uneven ground. The opposite side, we've got your wardrobe, which has got your boxes there for your Avtex TV. Hanging space within there. And then this is the opposite side of the wardrobe, which is from your external locker. And that, like I say, has got your ladders in there for your bed. And below, we have an additional bit of storage, which is really useful within there. And then again, this back locker, some storage, which does go through to the opposite side of the mirror. These doors are on a magnet, so they're magnetised, so you'll notice that the catch doesn't actually come out, but as it closes, it hits the magnet and closes too. You've got storage above here with your grill pan and wire. These lights are located throughout the vehicle. These attach onto these rails and you can move them around, twist them and put them in. And then this particular one's also got the USB plug, which you can put in any device and in any of the rails. And then you've got your mains power socket there. We've then got your living area, which is around this area. We have your table, which can slide back and forth. You loosen that off, and then that'll enable you then to pivot the table around, slide it back and forth and manipulate it to whichever position you want. When you're making the bed down, you will need to remove these cushions and these cushions to enable you to drop the bed down to its lowest area. Also, first of all, you will need to drop this table. We'll come back to that in 1 second. So the table is operated to drop it down by lifting it up, first of all, and then pushing down. I've already just sort of lifted it up slightly, just because I can't do it with 2 hands whilst filming. And then when you drop the bed down, pop these cushions out, like so, either side. Pop those in place. And then you'll notice this one's already got the keys in. These keys are removable, just as a fail-safe for if you've got kids or you're worried that someone's going to drop the bed down on your head. These lights can remain in place, just as a matter of course, just pop these back up so they're not going to put any dents into the fabric. And then when you're operating the bed, push down and the bed drops down like so. You've got 2 lights which are up there, which you push on and push off to close them, to turn them off. And then you've got light switches on there. One of them's for your night light, the other one's for your lights below. So you'll notice then that the bed comes down lovely, nice and low, just sitting just above the cushions. But it's a nice low bed, so it's easy to access from there. Leave your duvet and your pillows up there. One thing just to be careful is if you do have particularly thick pillows or duvets, just ensure that it's not getting caught in the mechanisms, and that if you have got big pillows, put them up there and up that side just when you're putting the bed away. What you don't want is the bed to compress against the roof and force against the roof, which is then going to cause issues and cause the fuse to pop. When you're done, you can, like I say, leave your duvet on there if you wish, but then pop the bed back up. If you are putting the vehicle into storage, you're not using the vehicle for any length of time, I always advise people just to leave the bed in a vented position, so it's roughly about that height, and it's just letting air move around it. And also one very important thing is, because this is a clear vent, if this is right up against it, the heat has nowhere to go and it can distort that frame. So when you're putting it into storage, just have it a little bit lower, just to allow that sort of ventilation. But normally you lift it, push that button, it stops when it reaches its memory setting for that top position, and you'll notice that you do have a gap there, and there is a little bit more gap as it goes further forward. But like I say, it's not a problem if some of the duvet compresses against it. Just need to make sure that it's not forcing and causing that fuse to potentially pop. Each of your windows and blinds are on a ratchet, so you just pop these out and then you lift up. To bring them back down, you lift and bring down like a caravan type. And then you've got a blind and a fly screen in each of those. The door has a bin that's inbuilt. There's a little dustpan and brush inside the top of that cap as well, which is in here. You pull this down and then you've got a blind built in. If you want to lock the door, everything from inside, you can do so on the alarm, on the remote central locking, by pushing the button, or you can push it on one of the buttons on the cab, which is referred to in the other video. Ultimately, with your keys though, which are here, you've got lock, which is the bottom one, which locks all your doors, unlock at the top, which unlocks all of your doors. And to close, that's just, that button is just for your fob. You've got two keys. You've got a main vehicle key, which does your central locking, and then another coded key, and then you've got two Burstner keys. Your travelling seats are here. Your 3-point seat belts are just currently stored away. From here, you just pull those through by removing this and pull them from there. Okay, so that's everything on the motorhome. On behalf of everyone at Emm-Bee Motorhomes, we hope you enjoy it. It's a fantastic vehicle. And any questions, refer to the instruction manual, refer back to this video at any time by all means, and let us know how you get on. Thank you.